Hello. So today I'm going to be talking about with the Tara. I'm going to be asking questions on whether Nicole Kessinger is new about her boyfriend trying to kill his wife and family. So first we're going to start with these cards. Okay. Did Nicole Kessinger know anything about what Chris Watts was planning for his family? Was Nicole Kessinger aware of what her boyfriend was planning for his wife and kids, to kill them? She was a good friend to him, yeah. Love relationships. I'll tell you. So they were very, Nicole and Chris were very romantically involved, and she was a good friend to him, and they spent a lot of quality time together. It looks like they were having some arguments over money and legal issues. Probably regarding to, his family, if he would leave her. So she got some clarity. She wanted to travel with him, and they were gossiping and chattering. He was talking about his unhappy marriage to Nicole, and it looks like she might have thought that he's rich, he has money, so, he can give her something. Disagreeable wisdom. Alright, so it looks like they were kind of they were arguing about the legal aspect of, if he had his family still, he wouldn't have the money to support her. Did she want them dead? The card just fell to the floor. Through learning, good fortune is coming. Fire. Jealous. She was jealous. Nicole was jealous of his wife, of Chris Watts' wife, Shanann. She was very jealous. Did she want Shanann dead? That's the question. Did she want Shanann dead? Lost the spirit. Jealous. She was so jealous. She was very, very jealous of Shanann. Judged. Sweet betrayal. Alright, so I feel like it says here it's talking about planning and patience and deceit. Betrayal by a friend, I feel like they planned this together, because it's talking about planning and having patience. Did they plan it together? That's my question. Did they plan this together? She was so jealous. It just keeps talking about jealousy. Sickness. She knew. Whether she planned it with him or not, she knew that he was gonna do this. She knew it, She knew about his plan. Whether she participated is a different story, but she definitely knew about the plan. Because it's talking about illusion, self-deception, bad luck, depression, anxiety. She knew there would be a loss or ending in the death of someone close to him. It's talking about coffins, grief, calamities, and sickness. Now let's ask the Tara. Let's ask the tarot. Did Nicole Kessinger? I always pray a little bit before I do the cards, to be clear and tell me if Nicole Kessinger knew what Chris's plan was to kill his wife. Did he know? Did she know? Was she involved in? She's saying. Did Nicole Kessinger know what Chris Watt's plan is, and did she have involvement in it? She had involvement in this plan. Was she involved? Did she plan it with him? She definitely knew from the other cards. She definitely knew, but we'll see what these cards say. Worry, grief. She wasn't. Let's see. Okay, so we have 9 of Swords. Healing, patience, good news. It was good news to her, apparently, that he was going to do that. And she willingly journey of flesh. So she kind of knew it would happen. Intuitively, she knew it would happen. My question is whether she encouraged him to do this. New beginnings, freedom, relaxation. She thought it would give them time to relax and freedom. And the Chariot. Let's see what it says. Did she know about it? Second, where can they find it? Reverse, the Chariot reverse. Lost conflict. Why was there loss and conflict? What was the conflict about? Did she want him to kill Shanann and the kids? Did Nicole want Chris to kill Shanann and the kids? That's my question. Did she want it? Alright, so we have here Ace of Swords, which is talking about new beginnings, clarity. She knew what was going to happen. Three of Wands. She knew it was going to happen, I believe. She was full of pride and arrogance, so she didn't really care what was going to happen. She didn't care. So at first she was happy with what he did, but then it turned bitter, whatever it was. She felt sick from it, probably. And she wasn't really, I wouldn't say she was decisive about this. She knew about it, I believe, but she was a little bit indecisive, She was kind of like, is this the right thing to do? I don't know if I want to, be involved with this. Is it a good thing? Is it a good idea? My question is, was she just a on-watcher, or was she active in the killings? Was she active in the planning? Was she just an onlooker, or was she active in the killings? Like in the planning of the killings? Was she an onlooker, or was she happily involved in the killings? That's my question. Was she actively involved in the planning of it, or was she... Me? Please give me a clear answer. Was she an active participant, or she was an onlooker? Was she like a planner or an onlooker? Again, we get the Fool. Alright. Knave of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles reversed. Careless. She didn't care. Basically, like, she probably knew what was going to happen, but she didn't actively plan it, and she didn't care. 8 of Swords. 8. She felt like if he would do it, you know, like, she would be free and relaxed, you know. But then we get the Fool, which was always kind of Fool. It's a flower in the hand, has a white dog. She was like willing to take the risks. She felt like it would be a new beginning if he would do this. As we know, it's not exactly how it went. Wands. 3 wands. So at the end of the day, she felt like it was a mistake, and she didn't care anyway, and she was full of pride and arrogance. So I feel like from the cards, what they're telling me is that she just kind of like, Nicole, she kind of knew what he was planning to do, but she didn't care. You know, like, she didn't care. She felt like it would be a new beginning. She felt like, oh, whatever, you know. Like, she knew what he was going to do, but she didn't care at all, and she's full of arrogance, and she was full of arrogance, and, like, she's full of pride. Like, she doesn't care. She just, like, really didn't care. She thought it was just, you know, it's whatever he does doesn't matter because it doesn't make a difference to her, and she wants to have a good life. So if they're out of the way, then, you know. So I believe she knew what he was planning to do, but she didn't put a stop to it, and she didn't really care. She's just that kind of person. Now my question is, did she really love Kriss Watts? Did she not really... Like, so I wouldn't say she was, like, responsible, but she didn't stop it. You know, she knew the plan. Okay, let me ask the cards. Did she have any responsibility? Is she responsible at all for the death of Shanann and her babies? Let's see what this one fell down. Let's see, did she have any responsibility in the death of Shanann and her babies? Cups, Wands, all reversed. Wow. So does she have any responsibility in the death of Shanann and her babies? Strength. Please, poor faith, tyranny. She was just... I feel like she has some sort of power over Kriss. She has some sort of power. King of Cups. King of Cups. She knew he was violent. She's also a bit on the violent side. 10 of Wands. 10 of Wands. She's strength, vindictiveness, clever. She was very clever. She's not stupid, you know, like, she knew what he was planning. The thing is, again, when we talk about is she responsible for at all, we have Ten of Wands, Shrewd, Queen of Swords. I'll tell you what I think. So she's a cruel person, so it didn't affect her. The question is, did Kriss tell her his plans? Did he directly tell her what he was planning to do? Was Kriss directly planning and telling her what his plans were to kill his wife? Did he tell her? Did she have knowledge of this plan? Did she have knowledge? Did she have knowledge of what Kriss was planning to do? Oh my gosh, wow. It looks like we get the same cards every time. So we have reversals, all of them reversed. 3 of them reversed, actually. So we have 9 of Swords. She was waiting. She was patient. It was good news to her. It looks like, wow. Again, for her, it would be freedom and relaxation if you'd get rid of his family. She had knowledge. 8 of Wands. It looks like they were having a lot of fights over this because she wanted him to... Why were they fighting? 8 of Cups. 8, 8, 8. I have 3 8s. What does it mean? 8 of Cups. That's so weird. Why do I have 3 8s? 3 8s. 8 of Cups. 8 of... She doesn't care. She just cared for her own pursuit of happiness and, contentment and relaxation, My question is, 8 of Wands, people going back and forth, traveling, crossing boundaries, and travel. What does it mean, 8s? Let's check 8s. What does 8 mean? Number 8. Progress. It was calculated. Yes, she knew it was calculated, and she is partly responsible for this. She wanted him to take action. She wanted it. She knew. My question, she had knowledge of it. Alright, now my question is, did she push Kriss to do this? Did she push Kriss to kill her family? Did she push Kriss to do this, or she just knew it? Tell me, maybe this person, God, tell me. Please give me a clear answer. Did she push him to kill his family? Or did she push him to kill his family? Or she just knew it? Did she push him to kill his family, or she just knew it? It's a very simple question. Oh, reversed. Wow. Okay. Did she push him, or she just knew it? Definite direction. That was her direction, yes. That was her direction. She knew it was dangerous, but we have... Wait 1 second. Yeah, 4. It was her ambition, yes. Definitely. It looks like it was really on her mind. Wow. Who would ever know someone could be so cruel? But she knew it was dangerous. She knew it was dangerous, okay? So I believe she pushed for this, and she knew it, so she is responsible. So, eventually she'll get what's coming to her. Now, thank you. Now, my question is, did she really love Kriss? Did she really did Nicole really love Kriss? Did Nicole really love Kriss? Did she really love Kriss? I'm gonna ask a few cards. Did she really love Kriss? Did Nicole really love Kriss Watts? Okay. She was very flirtatious with him. She loved to gossip. She loved to travel with him. It looks like they didn't really have the best relationship because there was some confusion and problems. But, you know, he was fortune changing for the worst. She knew being with him was dangerous, I guess. Endurance, strength. I don't believe she really loved him because it's not really talking about love. I don't believe she loved him. It was more like a flirtatious romance. It was more like lustful, you know? Okay, now we have Ten of Pentacles. Did she love him? Dull mind. She was dull-minded. She didn't really love him. Three of Wands. Three of Wands. It was calculated. You know, it was just, she didn't really love him. Wow. You know what's getting to me is the thought that she didn't even love him, and she just like felt, I feel like she had some power over Kriss Watts, and she encouraged him to do what he did because she wanted to be involved in such a thing. Like she was like a cruel person, you know? That's what I'm feeling from the cards. Path waiting for something to come back into your life. I don't believe she even loved him. She was probably in love with someone else. The wheel, which in reverse means something else. So here we have the wheel. It means bad luck. She was a bad influence on Kriss Watts. So I think at this point I'm believing that Nicole Kessinger, she influenced him to do what he did. Like she was a bad influence on him. She didn't love him, but they had this lustful sexual relationship. And she had a bad influence on him, and she is partly responsible for the death because she knew about it, and she encouraged it. She was the one that was the influence behind this. Five of Cups means Five of Cups. She loved him. She was disappointed in Kriss Watts because she didn't really love him. She thought he was all that, but then at the end of the day, she didn't care for him. She didn't love him, and she was behind the planning, I believe. Like she didn't care, and I believe that she was really the one that was the influence on him to do what he did, because it was all about lust and the sexual tension and the sexual experience, the sexual relationship that the two had for each other. So she doesn't love him. He's a fool. He killed under her. She kind of like hypnotized him. Like because of him, because of her, she's the one that, because of her, he probably killed family. Because of her, she influenced it. And she was also insanely jealous of Shanann. Insanely jealous of Shanann. Now, should we use the pendulum to see what the pendulum says? We could do that. Okay, just pray to God. Tell me. Please, give me a clear answer. Was Nicole jealous? Was Nicole jealous of Shanann? Was Nicole jealous of Shanann? I'm waiting. It's saying maybe, but I'm waiting for a definite answer. Was Nicole jealous of Shanann? I'm waiting for an answer. So basically it's saying maybe, yes then no. Like she was probably jealous, but not to the extent that she'd want to kill Shanann. But she was the influence behind it because she's just a nasty woman. You know, she's like a bad person. You know? I feel like because the energy was saying maybe, it could be that she didn't really have... She was careless. Like, she didn't really have that kind of emotion. You know, like, I feel like she's kind of a psychopath, you know? Like, it's kind of saying that she's kind of like... She didn't care. You know what I mean? It would just be easier for her to have Shanann out of his life. My question is, did Nicole love Chris Watts? Nicole loved Chris Watts. Wow. No, she didn't love him. Was it just a purely sexual relationship? I'm waiting for a definite answer. This is saying maybe. I want to know, did Nicole was it a purely sexual relationship? Was it just for lust? Yeah, it was. Do you want to know if you want to know if Chris Watts loved Nicole? Let's ask. Did Chris Watts love Nicole? Did Chris Watts love Nicole? No. So they didn't love each other. It was just a sexual fling. It was just basically sexual. Pretty crazy, isn't it? Anyhow. Yeah, so that's all I have for you guys now. For now. So, I guess the outcome is that they didn't love each other. It was a sexual fling. It was lustful, and it was full of sexual tension, and it was something dark, and she had like a kind of hold over Chris. She wasn't jealous of Shanann, but there was something evil in her that encouraged him and influenced him to do what he did. And she's not all innocent, you know, but one day she'll get her karma, don't worry.